So hello everyone. um, so yeah, this this is a little bit ridiculous for two videos. I definitely wasn't expecting that. Also, this, yeah, guys kind of blew me away with how fast this blew up. Um, I didn't initially have a third video planned. I was gonna release these two, figure I'd get maybe 100 so views on each one and call it a day. I have ideas. But as far as having stuff scripted out, these are my two big ones. So now I actually got to put my brain to work again. I do appreciate that. But what I wanted to do here is go through and just do a response video. I've personally responded to every comment that I have. But I figured. Do we have any held ones? No, okay. No mentions either. But I figured that we would go through and just sort of make a general post and answer a lot of questions that we had, or that you guys had. More of a public sense in case other people also have those questions. Hopefully they will find this. Because not everyone reads the comments that are on a video. They go through and post the same question. None of you guys have done that yet, which I actually find kind of impressive. But for the future, well, we'll just go down to the old ones. We'll do them in order. Can I? No, okay. I was gonna say filter them by date, but it, that. Where's the other one I clicked? Oh no. Yes, sir. Okay. So yeah, for first comment from Tyler Davishill, just said, "Okay then, appreciate that." For Productions saying, "Congrats on finally finishing it, much appreciated." So thank you on there. All right. So first real comment: Multiverse Sephiroth sets up all mainline worlds merging into City of 2. Of which I responded with, "I am aware." We're seeing how much merit these had without the side games or the online games. You include those, and there's overwhelming proof that they are connected, which there is, but also including the online games. There is just as much evidence to suggest that they are all completely separate worlds. So you would have to keep that in mind, and you'd have to nitpick back and forth on which ones you wanted to consider canon, which ones you don't. And I get into it in another comment on the newer video. I get more into that, so I'll cover it a bit more when we get to that one. People don't actually believe they're connected, I hope. 10 and 7 apparently are, and this was just a little fun idea to see if the rest of them could fit together. So that one was interesting. I don't know what BRP means. I'm not as lingo and condensed words. Like the shortening of words. Like I know LOL used everywhere, but for the most part, I'm not caught up with my generation on what shortened sentences are. So I don't know what BRP means, but I'm interested in all the bids you're laying down. Subbed. Thank you. Well, that was appreciated. Pixel Fusion Productions has really good videos. Go check him out. But he was the first like big criticize, and it's gonna be an interesting one to go over. So let's go ahead and read this one for people who didn't read it. If you like the connections to different realms and games, you should really take a look at Stranger's Paradise. It'll throw a huge wrench in your theory here, but it clearly establishes that the fairy games all have their own realm. This also includes Gilgamesh, who's the same traveler from 5, and the same one in Dissidia. I know that you said you wrote this before Rebirth came out, but Rebirth has some strong hints of connecting to 10. I don't think it's as solid as them being the same world, but I can see Shinra traveling to another world and using his knowledge to extract Mako. We see similar structures of mining using spiritual energy for power in other games, notably 9. Sadly, Gilgamesh is not the same between different games. In the case of 15, it really felt like they were setting up Gilgamesh who took of the royal arms, weird sentence, and was headed into interdimensional elevator. Still, sadly, if it was the original intent, it was scrapped and replaces it with generic dinosaur dragon boss. The Gilgamesh that appears in the DLC is definitively what exists in the world of 15, has a history and is drastically different from the one Gilgamesh we know. The one from 9 also appears to be a resident of the world and not a realm traveler. Good points here. I did say in that video that 9 threw the biggest wrench in Gilgamesh not being the same character. I didn't really touch on the Gilgamesh in 15 because I don't even think, because like even young Gilgamesh in 9 shares 4 arms, which Gilgamesh has. The Gilgamesh 15 is like a 2-armed samurai, and those two in particular definitely hurt the theory that they're all the same character. Again, Strangers of Paradise, the online games, the Dissidia games, all say that they're all different and they connect at different points, but they're all their own separate realms. But again, we'll get into the online ones in a further up comment. Can't believe I have to say this. Never say spoiler warning after a spoiler. I purposely wrote that into the script because I thought it was funny. It's just my kind of humor. I appreciate if anyone else didn't appreciate it. The Void is not outer space. You are correct. Every single game where Gilgamesh appears references the existence of the Void because that's where Gilgamesh traverses. Also correct. The reason I wanted to connect that the Void was space was mainly because when you go to the Void in Final Fantasy V, you're in a very space, extraterrestrial-like realm. And you do see it as it being a mode of travel for Gilgamesh, specifically. So, did I not reply to this one? I could have swore I did. I'll have to reply to it later. But yeah, that's basically my reply. Is that the Void is a means of travel between worlds. Whereas Gilgamesh uses magic to do it. Future games would use technology, spaceships, stuff like that. The world needs more Final Fantasy theories. Thank you for your service. I have subbed and hope you make more. People need to remember that theories do not have to be correct to be fun. Agreed. Have a good one up next. Yay, thanks for the... Yay, very excited for it. Magnar, very lovely comment there. And both the thumbnail and the crossover portrait in Final Fantasy Connected sort of hinted at what the next one was going to be, so you didn't comment on that one, Mike, but I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, that was my last theory on this before I published this video. So let's go ahead and start on the Genova's theories videos. I really like the theory. When I was playing Lightning Returns, I got a light impression of what you were talking about midway through. That's good. Again, most of the evidence we have for the theory is at the very tail end of the game, so I hope I didn't spoil anything to you. For you. But it does say when I was playing Lightning Returns, so hopefully it was a while ago you were playing it and I didn't spoil the ending for you. I truly apologize if I did. And this one had me cackling for a while. This is entirely plausible. Love your videos. I'm waiting for a video on how M&M Mars Company, and in particular the Mars bars, is actually Meteor. I don't know entirely what he meant by that, but I'm hoping it's satire. But I do now have a video for April next year, so that should be fun. Brave attempt trying to place the games with no link in a timeline. I mean that they say they're not linked, but so many references to each other, it's hard not to do this. But question, Why is it never touched that the theme aliens, space invaders mean two games have legit other races that travel via spaceships. Shinra traveled to FF7 Gaia, meaning FF7 Genova clearly. Uh, I start reading these. Like I read them in my head and I completely understand them. Then I go to read them out loud and I realize how poorly worded they are. I'm like, wait a second. I mean, FF7 Genova, clearly Kefka that had won on their world. The FF4 Lunarians are heavy going to replace the world population at one point. Like FF9 was the main plot was to find a new planet to wipe out the current race and then feed their souls to a giant tree and take them over. Clearly, there's a lot of space travel between the planets. Perhaps it's not the case of the same location, but a handful of planets that have been fighting on and off or traveling between each other. Meaning the Cetro were said to be travelers and they came to the planet. What if they really mean that, as in they saw Genova crash and went there to check it out, as they said it was the Promised Land, with sort of the Promised Land was sort of a myth. What if it was what the Cetro slogan, to find paradise, we travel the stars, but the settlers forgot their roots and took to thinking the Promised Land was a place there. When you think about it, all the FF worlds can be explained by lol, we're just 200 years after our last alien invasion. Which I responded, I hadn't thought of that, but the 200 years since our last alien invasion comment had me going for a minute. Yeah, so this right here, I didn't want to highlight the whole thing, but this last paragraph here, pretty valid. Why did stop that? And now I gotta scroll back down to it. I went to the button management. Where was I? All right, right here. But yeah, this one right here, completely valid. I actually like that way of thinking. And that could be another way of viewing this. I might actually turn this into a video itself, so thank you, Alex Shinra. Good name. Yeah, because the the Lightning is Genova theory is based completely on if this right here was canon. But I do, for a non-canon or a not connected view of the things, I really like what he was saying here in this one. So yeah, I might make a more fleshed out video on that. All right, and then I think this one right here is the next comment. But she stated to have crashed onto the planet, not grown or came from. She crashed into the planet. True, but that was only stated. There isn't anyone alive to recall it, to know for sure, except Genova herself. And she's not very talkative. I suppose this is more of a what if than a theory, but it was a fun idea, so I did it. As a what if story, yeah, it's kind of a fun idea, but hear me out. Just think if Genova was Leska rather than Lightning. I actually really like this, because that's two worlds that are pretty much confirmed to be connected, which is 10 and 7 in some regard. So this is also another theory I might tackle. Alex Shinra giving me a lot of ideas here. Then we got into a bit of discussion on that, and I'll read it out so you guys can figure out where our lines of thought went. I was like, that might work. Depends on whether or not you think she can return after a fight in 10. I don't remember if Yuna sends her or not, but if she didn't, then yeah, that could actually fit. Because if Yuna had sent Leska, that would mean she wouldn't be able to return. Maybe. The 10-3 commentary thing kind of puts a wrench in that with people coming back from the far plane anyway. So, that could still work even if Yuna did send her. This is the thing, I don't remember Yuna sending her either, just that the fight was over and everyone was staying to find a new way. Also, polymorph magic and soul/health absorb magic are all skills she had, and she wouldn't be the first person to leave the plan to go looking for a new one. Or heck, maybe she lost her mind after genociding 2 or 3. Now, before anyone says what that means Shinra's likes, Now, before anyone says, but wait, that means Shinra is stupid old, and to that I say time travel, as why not? It's slapped everywhere else. Shinra as a company, according to Miyazaki, I think. No, Miyazaki's FromSoft. Ishinori Kitase. There we go. I knew the name would come to me. According to him, the Shinra from 10-2, which would have been right after the Unalesca thing, is what founded the Shinra company. So that in itself kind of go against this right here, because Shinra as a company is a super old company. So then this was one of my favorite comments. Like, you don't even know how Genova is spelled. Maybe you should refrain from making theories. From Longinus69. Good name there. As stated in my response to your other comment, I am not the one who spells it in the video. That was my editor, who lives on the other side of the world. Perhaps you'd be the one from refraining from exercising your right to judge a tiny mistake that someone else makes multiple times on the same video. Because this is not the only comment I left. I believe this is a response to comments up here. Because I'm pretty sure I spelled Genova wrong in one of the comments here. I think it's the Janova instead of J-E. So he attacked me here on that, but he left his own comment on the video itself, saying something similar. And this is the one I responded to. Which, Alex, thankfully. If he actually cared about spelling and grammar, he'd be going after me. Don't mind them. Thanks, Alex. And then Fagnarok, good name. In Lightning Returns, it's very clear that they reawakened on Earth. The planet is not carrying the same global continents as in 7. This is my newest comment, which I'll have to check if he responded to or not, because it's not going to tell me whether or not he updated it until I refresh the page. So, to which I put, I'll have to watch the cutscene again, but I'm fairly certain that they don't name the world that they land on, but even if they did, continents shift over time. Don't forget that even on our own real Earth, it was all a single continent at one point in time. That's why I didn't bring up maps or similar landscapes in the Connected Theory video, because the maps in every single Final Fantasy game is different. But that could, if you wanted to believe the theory, could be chalked up to tectonic plate shifting, worlds getting shifted. Kefka blows up the world at one point, and the world shifts pretty dramatically as he moves stuff around. You gotta remember that these are beings of vast magical power and are fighting on the levels of gods and, things like that in almost every single game. And shit happens, shit gets blown up, things get recreated. So yeah, the continents not being in the same place in different games isn't really a fair point to both prove or disprove a theory. Because, like I said, in 6, when Kefka destroys the world, the whole world map shifts a little bit. In Final Fantasy V, there's 3 different world maps. Bartz's world, Galof's world, and then the combined world, which shifts stuff around. So them being the planet not carrying the same global continents, I see where you're coming from, but not a overwhelmingly great argument for it, because stuff changes over time. In the timeline of the theory videos, like hundreds, if not thousands of years between each and every game. So, yeah. I think that was all the responses for that one. Yep. Okay. Who is Genova? Genova is Sephiroth's mother from Final Fantasy VII. The comment was referring to you misspelled Genova in your video. I didn't actually see this. I believe I also had the title as JA. I had to fix that. To be fair. I don't know if I did that before or after this comment, but I did it as soon as I noticed it. I'm actually going to reply to this one live. One second. editor lives in India. So, very good at editing. I like his editing style a lot. And he does infinite revisions and stuff for me. I didn't catch the Genova misspelling in this one. So, if it blows up more than it already has, which part of me hopes it does, part of me hopes it doesn't. Yeah. I didn't realize this was from 7 days ago either. I never got a notification for that one. Sorry for missing your comment, my friend. But yeah. Fingery. Think you're reading too deeply into Square being lazy? Probably. I'm doing it for fun. Square is definitely getting lazier and lazier each year with the games they make. I rant on this a little bit in the Connected Worlds theory, but their games keep getting prettier, so they put a lot of production into making it look good. But I don't know what it is about modern media and having bad writers in almost everything that isn't like an indie movie or an indie video game, indie TV show. Anything major and mainstream just sends to throw writing and world building out the window for spectacle nowadays, and it's so sad. But yeah, at least for the first, I don't know, probably 12 games, they weren't too lazy. I'd even give them 14 isn't too bad. No, after they nuked it for how bad it originally was. Anyway, yeah. I love this theory. It does require some revisionist history in Seven's world, but who says that couldn't have happened? Thank you. This is also another one of my favorite comments. 11 and 15's Gilgameshes are not the multiverse Gilgamesh. Also, likes 13, hates 7. Uh-huh. I never once said I hated 7. The only game I hate is 15. I just don't hyper fan service 7 like a lot of people do. It's a great game, don't get me wrong. Great combat system, great characters. It just wasn't the first one I played. 5 was, actually. And I just don't hyper focus on it. There's other combat systems I like more. There's other characters that I like more. 7 is really, really good. It's just not my favorite. Daniel, another one I really liked. I need a full, in-depth, detailed explanation on these points. There's got to be more to this theory. Thank you. I might do that, actually. This video was a lot shorter than I initially thought it was going to be. So, yeah. I didn't catch this one either. I love Final Fantasy and 7 so much that I have a Genova tattoo. 13 was really not a great game in my opinion. Was part 2 and part 3 any better and worth playing? I'm also going to live reply to this one because I never got a notification for this one either. So, all right. just hitting enter doesn't do anything. So you're just doing stuff on Discord. But yeah, sorry I missed that comment. I never got a notification for this one either. But yeah, I would definitely recommend 13.2 and Lightning Returns if they're your kind of game. Like I said in the comment, 13.2 is pretty close to what 13 is. Gets rid of the hallway, updates the combat system. It's pretty good. Has a lot of quick time events, so if that's not your thing, probably shouldn't go into that. I do think 13.2 is better than 13 as far as like pacing, the combat system. Mog is annoying as hell, but that's Moogles in just about every game, honestly. So yeah. Lightning is actually Sans. Good comment. I didn't get this one either. Genova is more, I don't know, blue. Debunked right there. Also has an eye on her tit. I am very curious how far into the video you watched, because I did get into her shape-shifting capabilities. Yeah, I'm actually going to leave a comment on like that. That's a pretty good comment. So that makes 3 I haven't got notifications for. Interesting. Yeah, blue and has an eye on her tit. Disproving that this shapeshifter could be another character. Good comment. I'm not trying to pick on you. That's actually a pretty good, funny comment. Just find your channel through our Facebook group. I'll check out the other video and this one finishes. Nice comment. It's kind of good to hear that it was getting around, so that's kind of nice. I don't think so, kid, but if it's true, I at least get to slaughter that horrid character from 13 multiple times. I didn't get a notification for that one either. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back through my notifications and just make sure I didn't just miss them, because that's a lot of comments to be missing. I'm trying not to miss any of them. Savar, a good friend of mine, when I shared the video with him, he said he'd make sure he'd comment. He took the joke that I had 5 minutes in that someone who didn't watch it was probably going to say that. So, yeah, he's quite the jokester. Aliens. It was always aliens. Poo-poo is key, and I'm convinced that the creator from the After Years is the same species. Which I completely forgot Poo-poo was even a thing. Poo-poo's been in a couple of games. I think most notably Final Fantasy X is the one I remember the most from. He's Lulu's little blue alien doll. And in 10.2, they released the HD version of it, the international version, whatever you want to say, with the creature creator. It's shown that I think the Poo-poo are the ones that are controlling the Iron Giants in Final Fantasy X. So, solid there. The Poo-poos are always the key. Crazy theory, but I kind of agree. Thank you. And here's where he commented on the video. But yeah. Yeah. He commented here and then commented in a comment on the other video. I do love people like this. Don't get me wrong. I love chaos and I love unhinged people. That's why I'm always getting into power scaling debates on TikTok with people. Which is a horrible thing to do on the internet. I do not recommend it. People get very mean very fast. And then this one was also an interesting one. You forgot their FF14 outfits in the 13 series. Also, if the FF worlds are connected, then everything in every world is dead. As it mentions, it wipes out all life in the universe, except for the world of origin. Just better efforts to do so. If the universe chronologically, if in the universe chronologically of the connected Final Fantasy worlds, their time occurs after Endwalker, at which point then they must be colony worlds from the future time in FF14. That's another reason I didn't include the online games. We're getting close to the comment where I go a bit more in depth on it, so wait just a little bit longer, and we'll get to that when I read that comment. Which is actually this comment right next to it. Nice theory, but when one of the Matoi ancestors from 14 be a better fit as Genova, you don't have to do as much mental gymnastics to make it fit. Probably, but we did the connected theory video without including the online lore. Online lore, Final Fantasy is the main numbered game like any other main Final Fantasy game. I'm curious about why would you leave it out for your theories. To which I go, because I hold a lot of things that both strengthen and disprove the theory, and I didn't want to make a 2-hour video nitpicking the differences and choosing what ones make into theory, which ones didn't. Example, if I remember right, when you start getting to the crossover content, it states that all the worlds are separate and thriving. I think one of the Matoian sisters state that they've destroyed all other worlds, so those alone counteract each other. It would be too much of a headache to sort through it all. At least for me, it wasn't worth it. She said, I see. Thank you for explaining. But yeah, that's the main reason I didn't include 14 or 11. Mainly these guys right here. But it's also why I encourage to check out the online lore, because it's so good. But even in 14, it counteracts each other. Like he stated, if who stated it? This one. All their events would occur after Endwalker, which everything else would be colony worlds. Not. I lost my train of thought. I just sneezed and then I lost my train of thought. But yeah. The Matoian sisters are after a bunch of crossover content happens in 14, like the fight with Orthus, Go-Go, Gilgamesh, all that stuff. Because there's a lot of crossover bosses in 14. And a lot of that happens before you get to the meteor stuff with the Matoian sisters. Or Meteoan sisters, sorry. And things like that. And even in it, so to have those crossover events, one, they'd have to be time traveling if all the worlds are dead at the point of 14. And maybe time traveling back into the past to have the fights and the raids and stuff like that. But there's a lot of small stuff like that that contradicts each other in FF14 specifically, because the game's been out, 10, 15 years now? And any series that goes on that long is going to have contradictions in its lore. And I really didn't feel like nitpicking through it all. Saying, okay, this says this, but this says this, and I'm going to use this for the canon. It just wasn't worth it, in my opinion. So that's why I didn't include any of the lore from 14, 11, anything like that. And if I remember correctly, for this comment here, that it all take place after Endwalker. I forget her name, but what's Bonavel's mother's name? I can't think of her name off the top of my head right now. She plays a big role in the online lore, and I think she actually is one of the Meteoan sisters, now that I think about it. I'd have to fact check that, so don't quote that, I'd have to fact check it. But, all that, it's why I put 13 at the front of the timeline, because all that's like creation lore and stuff like that. And it has direct connection with 14's lore. Basically anything that's in the Nova Crystallia, which is like 13, 14, and a few of the other side games. All that happens at roughly the same time. Ish. Because I think, like, I want to say Type 0, but I don't think that's the name of the game. Well, it has, like, military strategy stuff in it, too, with all the main characters being different card names. Whatever Final Fantasy spinoff that is, that's also part of the Nova Crystallia stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to add if you wanted to include 14 in the side games that just contradicts each other in their own series and stuff. So, yeah, it wasn't worth it for me trying to go through all that for headache. There is a version of the script where that stuff was in there, and I got, I don't know, 4 pages in before I realized how much of a headache it was going to be, and I just decided to cut out the online games. Alright, to me it doesn't make sense taking some Easter eggs and making theories out of them, but I enjoyed watching the video anyways. Ever watch game theory? That's pretty much all theory crafting is. And thank you, which was just an idea for fun. Yeah, but some have more validity than others. I also believe that they decided to put Shinra in FF10 too, just because of how popular FF7 was. I also enjoyed your Lightning is Genova video. Very small comment and very valid point. Some things do have more validity than others. But again, this is just for fun. It's not to prove a point. It's not to say it's the new canon or anything like that. Theories are more of what ifs than anything else. So, and then this one from 16 hours ago. No, just no. Fair point. So yeah, wanted to go over all those. Again, I don't have another theory video planned at this moment. I have ideas, and I'm going to start script writing on those ideas this weekend, and hopefully I can get another video guys out for you pretty soon. Like I said, these are my two big ones. There's a story of the summons that I proposed in the Final Fantasy Worlds Connected video. There's other things like Cloud of Darkness's NUO that I kind of want to dive deeper into and see how well that'd work. There's a couple of them that were pointed out in here, like Unalesca being Genova. That actually intrigues me a lot. I kind of really want to dive into that one actually, because that's with 2 confirmed worlds. But yeah, there's stuff I want to dive into. I just don't have anything scripted. I started the script for Lightning is Genova the second I sent off the Final Fantasy Connected theory video to my editor. So he spent a bit of time editing that, and I had this script done and recorded before he even got the video back to me. So, yeah. But yeah, hope this clarified some things for you guys. This is probably going to be longer than I expected it to be. It's going to be 40 minutes. I don't expect people to watch all the way through. But if you did, I appreciate it. And you can see all my blubbering mess, because I'm just going to upload this raw. I'm not going to edit it. You're going to see all my blunders, my typing mistakes, everything. So yeah. Well, we'll catch you guys in the next video. The next video I plan on uploading isn't going to be a theory video, because it's going to be easy enough to do, and it's going to play off of this comment here, so you guys can actually see what order my favorites are in the series. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a tier list, because I think that'll be fun. So that'll probably be the next video that comes out. And then there's one more I had an idea for, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. I do have 2 scripts, non-Final Fantasy related, that I was going to upload to test the waters, and see if everyone who jumped on board is just a Final Fantasy fan, or if they're theories of other fandoms that I've had up for a while, because those are my alternatives to saying, hey, maybe I won't jump into Final Fantasy. So I got those scripted out. I'll probably upload both of those as well. One's from the Percy Jackson the Percy Jackson recording verse, on how strong is Percy actually, because there's a lot of heavy debate on that. And then the other one is the problem with power scaling is what I think I'm going to title the other one. So yeah, well, I guess I'll record and have those edited out, and just see how well they play out. Test the waters a little bit, jump into a few different fandoms, see what sticks to the wall. But I do plan on mainly focusing on Final Fantasy content for the most part. But yeah, we'll test the waters and see how things go. So we'll catch you guys next time. Take care.